The following is an EHC media production.
What is going on, wrestling fans? Moses Marquez here of the RWT Podcast Network, coming at you with a new episode of Smack Talk, Season 2, Episode 2, if you will, April 17th, 2018. We'll jump right into SmackDown Live, of course, after I go over a bit of news, just like I do each and every show. So, I'm going to start off with I think we're like a little over a week away from Saudi Arabia. We have an entire card up on the WWE.com and probably all over the internet by now. It's going to be 7 title matches in total. So pretty much every male championship, including the Cruiserweight Championship, the 205, the Cruiserweight Championship are all going to be on the line. And speaking of the Cruiserweight Championship, they're actually going to be doing a gauntlet match, I want to say probably next week, because it's recorded on Tuesdays. So more than likely next week, they're going to be doing a gauntlet match. Winner will take on Cedric Alexander in Saudi Arabia. I have a feeling it's going to be Mustafa Ali, and I wonder why. I'm just kidding. I think that they'll probably put on a really good match. I mean, like I said, their WrestleMania match was pretty all right. So, I mean, we could see where it goes. But, that is where it's at. So, I do have a little bit more news. Pretty much just about what's all going down. I do have one bit of, not so much bad news, but not so good news. But I'll get into that after this. I want to go down the entire entire roster list now. And I want to let you guys know of everybody that is, who moved and where. So we're going to start with Raw. Raw picks up Jinder Mahal with the U.S. title. He then loses it to Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy now on SmackDown Live, but I'll actually probably rename him. But showed up, lost the belt, and now he's stuck in Raw. And hopefully he just withers away. But with all those roids, I think it's going to take a little bit. Then we had the Riot Squad: Ruby Riott, Liv Morgan, Sarah Logan. We had the, rehiring, quote-unquote, of Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, which was a little on the weird side considering the fact that Kevin has beaten up Stephanie's dad, and why she feels different about it than Shane does. It's a little weird for me, but whatever. It's a fun show. Zack Ryder was announced after the show, and I see why. It's fucking Zack Ryder. Breezango, who showed up in the back, which was awesome. Natalya, who had a little get down with Ronda Rousey. You had Mojo Rawley, who was also named after the show. We had Dolph Ziggler show up along with Drew McIntyre in what looks like is going to be like a Diesel HBK kind of a tag team. I like that. My only issue with it is Diesel didn't get over. So hopefully it goes a little bit different this time. But otherwise, I love that new finisher of theirs. It's like a zigzag into a claymore into a zigzag. It looked awesome. I thought it looked awesome. Baron Corbin was announced but did not appear. I hear Vince loves him. So God only knows where we see this guy go from there. Mike Kanellis, who, now that I look back at it, I have no idea why he was even signed again. Other than it's his wife. I think this is the only reason he got signed was because of his wife. But he was announced after the show. The Ascension was announced after the show, but they'll be joining the Raw Tag Team division. Chad Gable was announced after the show, and then the special 5th man that was in the 10-man main event was Bobby Roode, which I don't mind. I feel like SmackDown got a little gutted, and this is why, and I'll go into it right here, right now, actually. So, probably the 3 biggest names. You know what? I'm just going to go down this. Forget about how quote-unquote big the names are. Let's start with this. We got The Miz returning to SmackDown Live, where he'll more than likely, hopefully be like in the main title picture. I would not mind him in the WWE title picture. I don't want him to continue to be a mid-carder, but It looks like they got plans for Daniel Bryan and Big Cass first. So Miz is going to be on the back burner. And it looks like AJ and Nakamura are going to keep going on their thing. So that's going to be pretty awesome. We had, of course, the newly crowned United States champion, Jeff Hardy, jumping onto the SmackDown brand. We have Mandy Rose, who's absolutely gorgeous. And Sonya Deville, who's okay. And then speaking of people that are awesome, Samoa Joe showing up on SmackDown, beating the crap out of Sin Cara, choking him out, cutting the best promo. He's probably the best promo guy right now in WWE. And he's going to be awesome. You know, like it. His promo was so good. I'm going to get into it when we get into the show, but it was so good. Big Cass, who I'm hearing they may attempt to change his name back to Colin Cassidy. I found out that they're trying to trademark that name, so there's a big possibility that Big Cass is no longer going to be Big Cass. He's going to go back to his original NXT name of Colin Cassidy, which I think would fit him a little better. He can work on his persona right now. I mean, like, he looks in good shape. His knee's fine, but, you know, we really didn't see much, so we'll see where it goes. The last time I remember seeing him was like 4 or 5 months back, and he was fat, so I'm just saying. We had Asuka show up, and I'm glad to see that she's on SmackDown. A couple of people I'd like to see her have matches with. And I think they're going to be, you know, great matches. We have Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson, the Good Brothers. I would like for them to rejoin up with AJ Styles and quite possibly, you know, do something again with AJ. You know, the club, hashtag beat up John Cena, you know, whatever. Oh, that was awesome. So, you know, I'm surprised to see where this goes. Sheamus and Cesaro, to be honest with you, a complete and total surprise in my mind. I'm happy to see them go over. I think we're going to see them, like, beat the New Day, which we've seen a million times. But, I mean, like, it could be awesome. You know what I mean? I'm sure there's some cool stuff we can figure out. And I'm sure they're not done bringing people in yet. So, we also got the arrival of Sanity. Eric Young, Alexander Wolf, and Killian Dane. No Nikki Cross. I'm hearing that it's because she's next in line to jump against Shayna Baszler in NXT, and I think that'd be a pretty good match. I'm also hearing they have no plans to bring her up, which it's like, if that's the case, why the fuck did you bring up Ruby Riott? She's mediocre and kind of looks like a dude until they made her grow her hair out. So, I mean, I'm being like a sarcastic ass right now, so probably for me, the biggest signing is Andrade Cien Almas with Zelina Vega. My thing with this whole, I guess, acquisition, if you will, is I really expected Andre to be on Raw, or Andrade. I really expected him to be on Raw, but I think it's going to be better that he's on SmackDown. He's got great guys to work with, like Daniel Bryan, AJ Styles, Nakamura, you know, and he knows Nakamura from his time in New Japan. He used to go under the name of La Sombra, and he's a former IWGP Intercontinental Champion. So, and he was one of the original members of Los Ingobernables de Japón, if you guys know about that, and I'm sure most of you do. So, the final name, which is not a name that I'm happy to announce to you guys, but I'm going to give it to you anyways, R-fucking-Truth. Old as shit, R-Truth. Yep. Old as shit, R-Truth. Doesn't make any sense to me, folks, but you know what? I guess they got to move names. You know what I mean? But they got to move names. So we're going to get on one quick final little, I guess, happy bunch or happy tidbit. For those who are Netflix fans, you know, you watch, you binge watch, whatever. I binge watch like a mofo. If you watched the first season of Glow, Glorious Ladies of Wrestling on Netflix, be happy to know they're coming back with season 2 and it'll be arriving June 29th. It's actually going to be pretty awesome. I was a big fan of the show. I cannot wait to see it. I think it's going to be awesome. And then the unfortunate news that I'm a little not so happy about getting into, but you know, I do cover everything here. Unfortunately, Bruno Sammartino passed away today at the ripe age of 82 years old. This man was the first ever WWF World Champion. You know, he was Vince Sr.'s, I guess, guy. You know what I mean? He was the guy. He held the belt for almost 8 years before dropping it to Ivan Koloff in 1971. He would retain the title 2 years later, or regain the title 2 years later, and then went on another almost a 4-year reign. He retired from competition back in 81 and began as a broadcaster. He was a good friend of Paul Levesque. Paul Levesque thought he was, they were friends. The guys with the Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer, Brian Alvarez, they've had many shows with Bruno. So, like I said, to the entire wrestling community, this was kind of a blow. This was a guy that kind of set off professional wrestling, from what I can see, at least. I mean, there's always been guys and there's always been professional wrestling, but I think without Bruno Sammartino, the WWF wouldn't have taken off and wouldn't have turned into the WWF, and it wouldn't have eventually turned into what we watch today, the WWE. So I think we all need to take a little bit of not gratitude, but we all need to take a little bit of time and understand that this man did a lot for our sport, and we need to thank him. And, unfortunately for his passing, we do hope he rests in peace. So I'm sure we'll be getting a ceremony, and from what I'm hearing, they're working on one hell of a video package for Bruno, because, like I said, he is a very, very big deal in the wrestling community. So you guys came to me for a SmackDown Live review, and that's what we're here for. So tired of me jabbing and jawing and yakking and jacking. Let's jump right into it. So SmackDown started with a quick recap of what happened last week. Nakamura interrupting the Daniel Bryan, AJ Styles quote-unquote dream match, and I totally think it was a dream match. They've had plenty of matches, I want to say, in ROH before, and they were really good. Of course, back when Daniel can do everything. Now he can't do everything, but they were great matches then. They put on a pretty good match last week. Unfortunately, it was interrupted by Shinsuke Nakamura, who came in and, while both men were down, hit Daniel Bryan in the back of the head with a Kinshasa, then low-blowed AJ Styles, I want to say, twice. AJ has 4 kids. He may not have any more with all the low blows he's been getting in the past couple of days. And I mean, boy, his balls got to hurt. So the show opens up with that video package. Then we go to the arena, and out comes AJ Styles. AJ grabs the mic and says that you can tell a lot about a man by his failures. And in that case, he found out everything he needs to know about Shinsuke. He dreamed about having this match with him at WrestleMania, and when it happened, he was successful. And when Shinsuke failed, he showed his true colors. Nakamura is not just an artist, he's a con artist. Last week should have been about celebrating, but instead I was only thinking about retribution. Only thinking about how to pay back Shinsuke. Instead, I was presented with an opportunity, a real dream match against Daniel Bryan, and then Nakamura had to show up again, show me his true colors, and ruin our match. So I'm not letting it go, and I'm not leaving this ring until I can confront Shinsuke Nakamura. And rather than him get Shinsuke Nakamura, out comes Aiden English. And, of course, Aiden English asks the people, what day is today? Rusev Day! We all know it's Rusev Day. Every day is Rusev Day. But, AJ calls Shinsuke a two-faced coward and demands he comes out here and fight him, but that's when Rusev Day, Aiden English, Rusev come out. So he then turns into a match. It's a pretty quick match. Kick to the midsection, a punch, another punch. Rusev starts off strong. AJ slips out of a slam, picks up the leg, rolls through, puts it in the calf cruncher. Rusev is reaching for the ropes, and then in comes Aiden English, and disqualification, because, of course, we're going to be setting up a tag team match for the main event. So, as Rusev and Aiden English are beating down AJ Styles, down comes Daniel Bryan to make the save. Runs Rusev and Aiden English off. So, English is still in the ring. AJ Styles is able to hit his Styles Rush or Styles Flurry, whatever the fuck it's called, where he just beats the bejesus out of the guy. And then they squander away. We head at the back, and Shane McMahon is watching the monitor like people watch the monitor. Like, holy shit. He was fucking looking at the TV Like people are supposed to look at the TV. Like you're looking at me, look at the TV. You don't get to fucking see the TV, but you're looking at me, looking at the TV. I'm not standing awkwardly so you can see both the fucking TV and me. Fuck that. I'm looking at the goddamn TV while you're filming me look at the fucking TV. That's how you do it, folks. That's how you do it. So, Shane's back there watching the monitor. Paige rolls up. They wish each other a happy shakeup, and Shane mentions how good it is to see Daniel Bryan back in the mix. Paige quotes Teddy Long and books Rusev and Aiden English against AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan for later tonight. Shane reminds us that The Miz will be returning to SmackDown by Daniel Bryan's request, and Paige quickly makes a holla holla and walks his way out. And as she's like, holla holla player, like Teddy Long used to do, fucking Shane's back there doing like his fucking weird dance and shit. And back comes Paige like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? Fucking whack job, this fucking guy. So, it was whatever. Apparently, because Carmella won the SmackDown Women's title, she's going to have a Melibration. I don't think that's English, but Melibration later on tonight. We had a commercial. When we come back, Shelton Benjamin hits the ring. And he says, last night, I said on Twitter that I saw a few great things for Chad Gable, but I got to be honest, my Twitter got hacked. I would never say anything like that. I don't need Gable. Wait, let me correct that. I never needed Gable. Gable needed me. What he needs is respect. What I need is respect. The respect that I deserve and the championship opportunities I am owed. I need the chance to remind everyone that I am one of the biggest threats on SmackDown. He says, I had a chat with Paige and asked for some competition. Real competition. Big competition. And I'm thinking, they really did move Braun. You're fucking stupid. No, I'm fucking stupid. Because they didn't move Braun. And out comes the Viper, Randall Keith Orton. He makes down the ramp, gets about halfway, stops. I don't know why the fuck you're stopping. Go to the goddamn ring. And then all of a sudden, boom, out comes Jeff Hardy. Dancing around like a fucking dude who's riptied through the fucking skull. Just fucking ripped out of his mind. And here we go. Jeff Hardy, Shelton Benjamin. And what I thought was a pretty damn good match. Jeff Hardy's making people look good. Boy, let me tell you. He is one of those kind of guys right now where he's making everybody he takes on look really good. He made Jinder look good on Monday. You feel free to take my word for it or go back and watch it yourself, but he made Jinder look good like AJ would make Jinder look good. Well, decent. Let me stop with what I'm saying here. They both made him look decent, but better than, what he really is. So, Shelton starts with a boot. Hammer blows, stomps on the mat, but Hardy counters with a jawbreaker, comes off the ropes. Benjamin passes him to the floor, and we head to the commercial break. Back from commercial, Shelton is in control, and Jeff reverses a whip into a leaping lariat, hitting forearms. Whip is reversed. Hardy comes up lame, but drops Benjamin with a lariat, a back elbow, a Manhattan drop into a double leg drop to the midsection. Double leg drop into the midsection, and then a basement drop kick. Only picks up a near fall. To the corner, Benjamin crotches him, climbs up after him. Hardy blocks a back superplex with elbows. Shelton Benjamin goes down, and Shelton Benjamin, in probably what is his fucking spot this year, since he's been back, he runs up those ropes very quickly and delivers a big old running knee to Jeff Hardy. Climbing back up after him, clubbing blows. Jeff gets a headbutt, purchase, hits Whisper in the Wind, only for a 2 count. Calls for the twist of fate. It's blocked. Shelton nails a reverse roundhouse, but can't put Hardy away. He's lying there. He blocks Pay Dirt. Roll through Soul Butt, which is like this, it's like a front foot kick or some weird thing like that. It was just, it's like a mule kick. There you go. Yeah, it was like a mule kick. Hits him into the corner. Up kick. Jeff keeps his wits about him. Hits a twist of fate. Swanton bomb. Ball game. beautiful, pretty damn good match. And then, of course, we have The Miz showing up on a cell phone promo, is what it looks like, at least a decent camera, that's for sure. He talks about Daniel Bryan tweeting about punching him in the face and asks Providence if they want to see him get punched in the face, before pointing out that he's not there. He's in LA with his wife and his daughter. Do you think he was going to come in with all the other superstars? He deserves his own spotlight. So next week, I will be debuting on SmackDown Live. And if Daniel Bryan ever trolls me again on Twitter, I'll kick his ass. Maurice scolds him for cussing in front of the baby. And he declares that SmackDown next week will be awesome. First off, I'm going to say, being a dad, yeah. Cute baby. Don't know if I'm happy to see The Miz on SmackDown, but I mean, he's on SmackDown. So, it is what it is. But before I jump into the next match, I just want to say that I hope Shelton Benjamin's not going to be like this guy that's going to like wither away. He's just there for enhancement talent, because he's a lot better than that. Okay? I'm sure most of us can agree he's a really good wrestler. He's one of those guys where I hope they don't waste him. But we'll see where it goes. We come back from commercial break, and we've been informed that Absolution has been drafted because, Paige runs it now. She's got to have her girls with her. So, like I mentioned earlier, Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose will be heading to SmackDown Live. So, Jey Uso versus Luke Harper in what was a very quick match, and I mean very quick. I want to say it was under a minute. Harper rams Uso into the corner, big slicing right, throwing him aside. But Jey gets right up and fires back with a right hand of his own. Floats over a slam low kick, kneeling palm strike. Jimmy running interference on Rowan as he tries to climb the barricade and stop Jey. Jey dives, Eric catches him, puts him on the apron. As he gets up, Luke Harper takes advantage, hits a discus clothesline, picks up the quick 1, 2, 3. I don't know why this wasn't a fucking DQ. Goddamn, Rowan grabbed the guy. I mean, that should be an immediate DQ. This isn't fucking New Japan. This isn't like, well, I think it should keep going. No, fuck you, you stupid fucking ref. Ring the goddamn bell. I'm just kidding. I mean, like, it makes sense, but it was a pain in the ass. So they continue to beat up both Usos. Eric throwing Jimmy into the steel steps, and both Bludgeon Brothers ramming Jey into the apron. They collect their hammers after Jimmy had originally tried to attack them with it. They collect their hammers, but immediately Naomi comes out screaming, "No, please stop!" Like, what the broad? What are you doing? Please, like, get out of here. We're gonna bludgeon them, but no, whatever. I'm over exaggerating, but it was really weird. They begged them to stop, pleaded to stop, and they just walked away. So, yeah. Fucking weird. Anyway. Sin Cara comes down, and then it's frickin' Samoa Joe. Oh, that's right. Sin Cara is standing in the ring, waiting for his opponent to be announced, and all you hear is burp, 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 and out comes Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe coming out, looking badass as always, with a fresh haircut, ready to whip your ass, his ass, and her ass. That's right, it's goddamn Samoa Joe. He don't care who he's beating up. That's probably not true at all. He probably doesn't beat women, which is good. Nobody told that to Rich Swann. Anyway, Sin Cara right in with a leg kick. Rubber Joe returns with knee strikes, throws him in the corner, boots up, springboard, back elbow. Samoa Joe is stumbling. Right hands from Sin Cara. Gets jabs from... Gets jabs from Joe, then a chop. Sin Cara floats over, more kicks to the leg, and a springboard. Joe destroys him with a northern lariat and repeatable knees. So here's the thing. Sin Cara goes for like this springboard, turn it into like a springboard stunner, or, DDT, whatever. And Joe was like, I want to say like a half a second late, but he clobbers him with his lariat, and it looks great. But like a second sooner, and it would have looked ridiculous. but just starts beating on him, hitting knees, picks him up by the mask. Cohina clutch, ball game. Absolute ball game. So Joe grabs the mic after his victory and begins bringing down the land of opportunity. Says, to me, it seems like more the land of handouts because this is because of his mere absence. Everyone on the roster has had it easy. SmackDown has been coddled, catered to, and worst of all, everyone has been convinced that they are better than they are, and all that will change now that he's here. I will get all the opportunities. I will put your precious Daniel Bryan to sleep. I will be the man to defang the Viper, Randy Orton. And I will emasculate and decimate AJ Styles. And furthermore, I promise that whatever's left of Roman after Brock beats his ass, again, I'll personally shred the remains and put him out to pasture for good. And if by some miraculous happenstance Reigns is victorious, he'll bring his newly won Intercontinental Championship and tear the Intercontinental Championship and tear the Universal Championship from his waist. Believe that. And he walks away in the most badass promo. Like, good God, that was a badass promo. Fucking Samoa Joe is just so good on the mic. For those of you who don't know and or at least don't remember, Samoa Joe is currently in a fatal four-way, I want to say a ladder match. I want to say it's a fatal four-way ladder match in Saudi Arabia for the Intercontinental Championship. I forget who's all in that match, but Samoa Joe is one of them. The Miz is one of them. Seth Rollins is one of them. And I want to say the other one is Finn, I think. A little surprised he didn't show up on SmackDown. I was really thinking Finn was going to go to SmackDown. Anyway, so we go to commercial. We head back, and then we get this montage and this little announcement that chaos is coming. And I'm thinking, Okada? But they're in Japan. You come on. No, Sanity. That's right, guys. Sanity. Alexander Wolf, Eric Young, Killian Dane will be making their debut soon on SmackDown Live. So Daniel Bryan is walking backstage and he rolls into an interview. He says he helped AJ Styles because he respects him. And in the 3 years he was out, he made a list of superstars he wanted to wrestle to motivate him. And AJ was on the top of that list. He wanted to prove to himself and everyone else that he hasn't lost a step, but unfortunately Shinsuke Nakamura ruined that. But in any case, I am proud to fight alongside AJ tonight because he knows I'll get another chance. He knows I'll get another chance to fight him later. Bryan turns around and Big Cass is there doing a double take because he's crazy hole. Says, "Oh, you're what all the fuss is about, little man." Like, dude, didn't you just tear your knee? Get the fuck out of here, you big piece of fucking shit. Where's Enzo when you need him, you fucking piece of shit? I'm burying Cass right now. Like, I don't know what they're going to do with him. You know what I mean? Like, but don't talk to Bryan like that. What the fuck's the matter with you? It's D-Bry. Take you down by the fucking legs, S.A. I was playing. So Carmella makes her entrance for her championship celebration. The Melibration, if you will. The ring is decked out in leopard print because that's her get down. And she sets her title on the pedestal and begins saying everyone wants to hop on the bandwagon, but if you didn't support her before she was champ, she doesn't need your support now. She's not just the Princess of Staten Island anymore. You can now call her the moonwalking, trash-talking Princess of SmackDown Live. Your moonwalk sucks. She says she waited for the perfect opportunity for 287 long days before she seized the moment and took her rightful spot atop the women's division. She then had a good laugh about beating Charlotte Flair, one of the greatest female superstars in WWE history, and she did it all on her own. Flair beat Asuka's streak, and she beat Flair. So apparently she beat Asuka's streak in proxy, which is bullshit. And all she had to do was wait for her to be blinded by her own ego. Like Charlotte says, to be the woman, you got to beat the woman. It's more like Ric Flair says, in order to be the man, oh, woo, you got to beat the man. That's what Ric Flair would say. But of course, Charlotte had to put her own spin on it because she's not a man. So, and learn to love it because she is now the woman. And that'll go down as the biggest moment in all of women's history. So she wants to keep the celebration going by paying tribute to herself with a video package covering her journey to the title. So first off, you're telling me that voting isn't as more important as you winning the women's title? Get the fuck out of town. Like, not the biggest moment in women's history. You're fucking super overplaying it up. Your leopard print sucks. I hope your title reign doesn't last very long. That's just me. She says she'll miss Frankie, her briefcase, but 287 days is nothing compared to how long she's going to keep Cleopatra, which is what she's named the title. And she said it before, and she'll say it again. Mela is money, and out comes Charlotte Flair. She says, it seems like her title reign is a lot like her memory. Short. She should have said her height. Her highlight reel is missing some big pieces of history, and the only reason that she had the briefcase in the first place was because of James Ellsworth. Well, duh. And the only reason she cashed it in successfully was because Billie Kay and Peyton Royce beat me up. But Charlotte's not mad because her dad was the dirtiest player in the game, and game respects game. Like, she's like, so congratulations, but it's much harder to stay on top than it is to get there. And she has something of, and you have something of mine, is what she says. And then out come the newly named Iconics, formerly the Iconic Duo. Billie Kay questions the idea of blaming them for her problems and asks Peyton Royce to do her Charlotte impression, which is consistently mocking her losing the title as if she were a baby that needs a diaper change. Kay asked what she's crying about. Last week, she asked for magic, and they gave it to her, disappearing that title from around her waist. That moment will last forever, and it's because of all of them, and they claim that they are the future. Flair takes off her robe, looks back and forth between the Iconics and Carmella before deciding to attack the Iconics. They get the better of her and put Boots against her throw Boots against her into the barricade. Becky Lynch comes out to make the save, and then comes down a referee to make a save and restore order, and then total mic bump, bada bing, bada boom, out comes a match. So we got a match coming up, or a match happening right now because they were brawling on the floor, and then back inside. It's gonna be Charlotte versus Billie Kay. Charlotte starts a rally, back body drop on the apron. Face smash into the turnbuckle. Flair slingshots back in, but gets caught with a forearm into a mounted with more forearms. Kneeling armbar follows. A mat slam as Charlotte tries to escape, and Billie Kay keeps the armbar locked on and breaks with a lariat, which is where Flair might escape again. Kicks to the ribs and back to the armbar, scraping the bones of her waist against Charlotte's jaw because clawing her in the face for good measure. Before clawing her in the face for good measure. Wow. Trying to throw hands, Kay knocks her back down with forearms, and Peyton gets a cheap shot as we head to the commercial break. Once we come back for commercial, a whip is reversed. Flair with a big knee lift. Billie Kay gets a overhead suplex to get back into control. Charging into the boot, Flair fires up, chop after chop, whips across the ring. A big chop knocks Billie Kay down. Running knee drop to the back of her head. Billie blocks the neck breaker and hits an inverted stomp facebuster. Big boot blocked. Float over slam. Schoolboy into two. Charlotte connects with a big boot. Stares down Peyton Royce. Locks in the figure 8, goes for the bridge, picks up the submission victory. Charlotte Flair, your winner against Billie Kay. See, Carmella attacks her from behind with the title following the ringing of the bell. Becky Lynch tries to make the save but gets beaten up by Peyton but gets beaten up by Peyton Royce. Carmella scraping Charlotte's face into the mat while Peyton Royce puts the boots to Becky Lynch. All of a sudden, Asuka's music hits. She makes her sweet, sweet entrance to SmackDown Live as she heads to the ring. Hip attack to Peyton Royce. Reverse roundhouse to Billie Kay. Back fist into a German to Peyton Royce. And Charlotte and Becky join in to finish the job. This ended with a Asuka head kick to Billie Kay, and it looked awesome. She got crow-copped. Mirko crow-copped. Just ba-boom. But with the right foot. And then, of course, right before we go to break again, we get tossed another video package letting us know that the Good Brothers, Too Sweet Me Bro, are heading their way to SmackDown Live, hopefully rejoining the club with AJ Styles. But he's too faced to be with them right now, but we'll see. Oh, we'll see. Back from commercial break, we get a little bit of hype about the Greatest Royal Rumble, which again is coming up in a little over a week. The Bar gets a cell phone promo. They're talking about all their accomplishments on Raw, including being 4-time Raw Tag Team Champions, before wondering how they would fare against SmackDown's live tag teams as they announced they're coming to SmackDown. The New Day are walking backstage. Big E is riding a piggyback on some poor soul, for some reason. When they roll up on R-Truth. Ty Dillinger shows up and is there to tease the moment before he and Truth share the secret handshake, the Jimmy handshake, if anybody remembers. R-Truth says he's happy that they're all together on Monday Night Raw, but Xavier points out that it's Tuesday, and this is SmackDown. Truth says, "Whoop, my bad." He says, "I'll see everybody tomorrow." And Ty Dillinger asks the New Day, "Is he going to be okay?" And he's like, I don't think so. But it's okay, because he's a fucking idiot. And then, of course, we continue to recap all night long about the Superstar shakeup. But we go to another cell phone promo, and this time it's one of the better names coming out of NXT. Andrade Cien Almas is heading to SmackDown Live as Selena Vega cuts a promo about how they're going to take over. It's going to be awesome. AJ makes his entrance. We head to break, and we come back. Everybody's in the ring. Bryan and English to start the match. Colin elbow tie punches into the corner. Daniel with a arm wringer into an arm bar. Wrenching the joint. Shoot off. Shoulder block. Drop down. Leapfrog. And Bryan picks his leg and transitions into a Romero special. Tag made before he falls back. And Styles comes off the top with a double axe handle. Whip is blocked. Right hands from Aiden. Chop against the ropes. Whip. Styles catches him into a pump handle gutbuster. Rusev in to run interference. Bryan takes him down with a yes lock and Aiden English into the calf crusher, but neither can get a whole hold as we head to the break. Come back from commercial. Aiden English is in control, dropping elbows on the phenomenal AJ Styles. Snapmare to a knee to the back. And he grabs a reverse chin lock and wrenches it in. Elbows break free. AJ free, but Aiden hits a back body drop. Back body drops him high in the air and makes him cover to cut the rally off. Wrist locks kick to the head, and he tags Rusev in. The Bulgarian Brute. Too many B's for me. I'm getting confused. The Bulgarian Brute kicks at the WWE Champion and bids him to come on, which he gets him with his right hand. Charging in, Rusev catches him with a bear hug. I can hardly bear it. Just kidding. I love it. I had to put it. It was a bear hug. How often do you see a bear hug? It's awesome. Headbutts to break Rusev's grip. Styles tries to leapfrog him for the tag, but Rusev rams him across into enemy territory. Shoulder thrust. Rusev fires up. He tags Aiden English in and whips him hard at AJ before cutting him off down with a lariat. Stomps follow. Styles slumping against the ropes as Aiden chokes him with his foot and takes a bow afterwards. Right hands referee Mike Chioda warning him about the hands. AJ breaks loose, ducks under a knee drop, and the way is clear. English keeps keeps a hold of his foot. Kick caught into a schoolboy. Styles hits him with a Pele kick. Tag is made, and the American Dragon is in with hot punches. Whip reversed, backflip up and over. Duck under the lariat, hits a flying lariat of his own. Daniel is fired up, shaking the second rope, getting that momentum. Running corner drop kicks follow. Rusev counters with a fireman's carry takedown into an omoplata for the yes lock, but English breaks it up. Bryan backbody drops him to the floor. Catches a Machka kick. Hits it, turns it into a dragon screw. Yes, kicks to follow. Then the buzz kick. Yes, fingers in the air. Yes, he's waiting for the big knee. Yes, as he's waiting for this big knee, out comes Shinsuke very sneakily. Very sneaky. And another low blow to AJ Styles as he's sitting on the apron. When Daniel goes over to help his friend, all of a sudden, he turns around and gets a big meaty boot from the quote-unquote 7-footer Big Cass. This is probably a disqualification, but who fucking cares? Nakamura and Cass stand tall over the fallen foe. Shinsuke is interviewed on the stage and is interviewed, well, why do you continue to do this? I sorry, no speak English. It would make not okay, and I love Shinsuke. I do. Like, this is awesome. They want to make that line like a heel line. It's just gonna get over because it's an awesome line. Okay, it's not gonna give him heat. It's gonna get over. Okay, but you want to know what I think would make it like a little better is if he said no speak English, like, you know, like how they fucking like how they used to make fun of it in all those movies way back in the day. Like, instead of him saying being able to actually say English, say English. You know what I mean? Like, thicken your own accent when you kind of talk just to be that more of a dick. I think it would be awesome. But that's just me. This was a good match for what it was. I'm sick and tired of seeing Rusev getting beaten up. But hey, he was in the ring with AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan. You know what I mean? He was up there on the top with the top guys. So, you know, unfortunately, he didn't lose. So, I mean, you know what? Probably there is no unfortunate in this part. I mean, at the same time, you know, I hope that he would have, you know, had a better role. But, I mean, he did good. You know, it's his Daniel Bryan time right now, so it's going to be all about Daniel. And I wonder what they're going to do with him and Big Cass. I already know what AJ and Shinsuke are going to do, and I think it's going to be awesome. I think they're going to put on a way better match in Saudi Arabia. So, you know what I mean? That's pretty much it, guys. That was SmackDown Live. It was a pretty good show. The Superstar Shakeup was good, but I'm not going to say it was like the greatest thing ever. I felt like that SmackDown was still feeling a little on the gutted side, in my opinion. But again, like I said, that's just my own opinion. I mean, we can see maybe some other guys showing up later on. I've mentioned that Nikki Cross is not going to be joining Sanity, possibly doing a program with Shayna Baszler. I'm wondering what they're going to do with Andrade Cien Almas. I hope they're going to put him, like, hopefully, like in the mid-card title picture right away. And then, you know, go from there. But I'm really happy that Selena Vega is coming with him. He definitely does need a mouthpiece. Unfortunately, you know, he does not speak very, very good English, or Inglés in his native tongue, if you will. So, I mean, SmackDown was a good show. I felt Raw was a little on the better side. So, I mean, Raw went up against the NHL playoffs and the NBA playoffs, and they still had a 3.87 rating. Unfortunately, for SmackDown, they kind of took a bump. And they dropped below 3 million viewers. So, yeah, 2.87 for them. It's a bit unfortunate, but at the same time, I think we all understand that SmackDown isn't like the greatest show ever. And, you know, basketball season's huge right now. So I think that's the real realization right now. Basketball's huge. I'm even watching most of the playoff games. I'm a Laker fan. Unfortunately, if you don't have like their like actual network, it's kind of hard to actually watch all of their games. But I watch every TNT game, ESPN game. They didn't do super hot this year, but I mean the NBA playoffs are a thing. They will continue to affect the ratings, and that's just what it is, guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna stop Jabberjawn. But before I stop completely Jabberjawn, I'm gonna keep plugging. So this is the plan here, guys. There is talks of adding shows to our IWT podcast network, and we're considering doing the 205 live show. Let us know what you think, guys. Let us know in the comment section below. Let us know on Facebook. If you want that to happen, we'll make it happen for you guys. I want to let you know that the IWT podcast with Shazza McKenzie is up and is a good listen. She is a former, I want to say she did like a small stint in NXT. She's worked with Shimmer and Shine, Australian girl. Big things coming her way. I know that soon an interview with Mickey Gall, the man who beat CM Punk in his first UFC fight, will be coming up hopefully soon, and I cannot wait for that. The NXT TakeOver review from our man Brian Green, that's up. Definitely worth a listen. It was an awesome show. He puts extra into that awesome show, and I tell you, it is a great, great listen. Give him a listen. I have my shows up so far. I have last week's episode of Smack Talk. I have a WrestleMania review coming at you guys soon. Also, remember, I am working as hard as I can on a project. I would love your guys' assistance. Sammy Guevara. I don't know if you're listening to my show, but if you guys know who Sammy is, tweet him. Send him stuff on Instagram. Send him stuff on Snapchat. Hey, Moses Marquez of the RWT podcast wants to talk to you. Can you do an interview with him? We'd love to hear it. You tell him you guys want to hear it, and I'm sure me and him can make that date come a lot sooner than what it's looking like right now. He is a busy man. He does have PWG coming up. But again, guys, if you don't remember from my last episode, or I want to say it was one of my reviews, I'm working on a project to interview Mr. Money's Worth, the leader of the Panda Fam, Sammy Guevara. PWG fame, if you will. He's an awesome independent wrestler. I've loved some of the work he's done. I'm working on getting an interview with him just so you guys can get to know the awesome guy that is Sammy Guevara. At the same time, I'm also looking to guys in our network who are willing to just sit down and talk professional wrestling with me. Maybe we can have a 30-minute conversation, 45-minute conversation, however long you'll be willing to go. I just want to get to know my listeners out there, you know what I mean? And if it means bringing you guys on my show for us to have an awesome conversation, let's do it. You know what I mean? Let's do this. Let's get this community together. And if, like I said, Emir used to do it. He used to bring on anybody and everybody who was willing to do his show. Well, my hand's out there, guys. If you're willing to come on my show and give me 30, 40 minutes of your time, I absolutely recommend that you do. And we'll have a great time talking pro wrestling. Hell, if you want to jump off into football, baseball, basketball, whatever, we can do all that. Again, guys, like I said, I'm here for you. You're my fans. I love all of you guys. Thank you so much for listening. Thanks for keeping up with us. This is season 2. We're working strong for you guys. Thanks so much again. I'll catch you around the bend, boys and girls. See you next time.